Leader Swansea found life tough at Prenton Park as Brian Little's strugglers led twice. Simon Francis skipped around Kevin McLeod's challenge to help himself to his first goal since moving on loan from Sheffield United. Swansea had gone into the match looking to extend their unbeaten run to 6 games, and they drew level in the final minute of the first half. Owen Tudor-Jones' powerful header beating keeper John Achterberg. Tudor-Jones in plenty of space to benefit from McLeod's cross. But seconds later in added time, Rovers retook the lead. Delroy Facey timing his run to perfection to race through unchallenged and slip the ball under keeper Willie Gouret. That was Facey's 5th goal of the season. But things were set up in the second half for Andy Robinson to take centre stage on his return to the Wirral. Robinson left Prenton Park after making just 1 substitute appearance in 9 months, and he rattled in his 6th goal of the current campaign to preserve his side's unbeaten run and leave Tranmere without a home win since the end of August. It might have been worse for Rovers. Substitute Adrian Forbes was denied by the post right at the end.
Barnsley are banging form at the moment. They're now unbeaten in 9 matches after this victory over Tranmere. They took the lead with a lovely flowing move. Paul Hayes provided the cross for Martin Devaney as the pace of the Yorkshireman proved too much for Rovers. Mind you, they did create chances, but when Chris Greenacre collected Delroy Facey's cross, he found that goalie Scott Flinders was in fine form. The Tykes now head 3 clubs, all of whom have 33 points. Barnsley have given midfielder Richard Kell a new contract until the end of February as he tries to prove his fitness. When Mark Richards was fouled, the Tykes had a penalty. Steve Jennings and Ian Goodison the aggressors, who were punished for a clumsy challenge. Richards was able to take the spot kick himself, and he confidently made it 2-0. Brian Little's side, who play the team below them Blackpool next, managed to bag a consolation. Delroy Facey's determination meant that Scott Flinders was denied a clean sheet.
Tranmere enjoy their away trips more than home games at the moment. Without a league win at Prenton Park since August, they broke clear at Blackpool through Delroy Facey on 81 minutes. When he did the business, they thought they'd stolen the 3 points. It would have meant 4 away wins in League One for Brian Little this season, but his team buckled in injury time. Captain Peter Clark beautifully took control with his first touch, showed strength, balance and the feet to outwit Rovers' defence single-handedly. Caretaker manager Simon Grayson pushed Clark up front as an emergency striker. He might find himself employed as one again if he can find a consistent way of doing this.
High-flying Brentford weren't fazed by Tranmere goalkeeping coach Eric Nixon's Elvis rendition prior to kick-off. They left Rovers all shook up after a stunning first-half display. They should have taken the lead, but neither Ian Sharps or Calvin Zola could find the required touch. That prompted the Bees to take control, as 2 goals in as many minutes put Martin Allen's side ahead. Ricky Newman with the first, arriving perfectly to control and finish Lloyd Owusu's knockdown. Jay Tabb took his season's tally to 4 with a perfectly executed free kick as the Bees look to extend their unbeaten league and cup run to 9 games. Brian Little's programme notes proved prophetic as he claimed that recent performances had not been reflected by results. His side did give themselves a chance when, after another goal-mad scramble, Calvin Zola stabbed in his first goal of the season to reduce the deficit. But the 2-goal cushion was restored before half-time. Keeper Steve Wilson's clumsy challenge on Owusu prompted referee Clive Oliver to award a penalty. On reflection, the keeper appeared a little unlucky. Kevin O'Connor needed no second asking, netting his 4th successful penalty of the season. Another goal followed in the second half to make the victory more emphatic. A flowing move ending with Owusu scoring to make it 4-1. Tranmere haven't won at home since August bank holiday, and the fans vented their frustration at manager Little at the final whistle.
Tranmere against Carlisle. It finished 0-0 after extra time. Couldn't get a goal between them in all that time. And then it went to penalties. and everyone took a penalty. It were 20 successful penalties. Have you ever seen the like of this before?
I think something happened at Palace once, I'm sure, where we got to a stage where there was this amount of... They weren't all scored, but there was... I think we got down to the keeper on that occasion.
Eventually, Carlisle will win 11-10 on penalties. And Steve Wilson, the Tranmere goalkeeper, has to stand up and take a penalty and misses, and Simon Grand scores the winning penalty. Unbelievable. It's their third League One scalp, by the way, Carlisle, and there was a couple of penalties in the game before, in the league game against Wrexham, one each, so that's pressure, isn't it, though, when you get down to the goalkeeper and he has to take one. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's some of them actually enjoy it, don't they? I mean, a lot. You see they put their foot through it, don't they? When
yeah. What you normally get, they just smash it as hard as they can normally, but they don't normally miss the target.
Good stuff. OK.
Walsall's run of 7 consecutive League and Cup victories at Bescot was ended by a Tranmere side who rode their luck at times. The visitors did have a goal disallowed when substitute Steve Davis was adjudged to have been in an offside position after Mark Rankin's shot was spilled by Joe Murphy. 2 of the home side's best chances fell to Matty Fryatt. First a free header from Darryl Taylor's cross, and then latching on to substitute Paul Linwood's poor back pass. Again, the young striker unable to add to his 14-goal tally. Taylor should also have done better.
The Merseyside derby may have taken much of the public's attention on the Wirral, but Tranmere supporters witnessed their best home performance for months, and that despite being behind at half-time. Scouser Phil Jevons giving Yeovil the lead after Paul Linwood's kick on David Poole. And after 7 points out of 9, the Glovers would have expected to consolidate that lead against the club in the bottom 4, but they disintegrated at the hands of Chris Greenacre. Greenacre didn't do himself justice in a disappointing spell with Stoke, but he's returning to the prolific form he showed early in his career at Mansfield. Tranmere won the game with 3 goals in the last 20 minutes. Gareth Roberts' free kick cannoned back off the bar to Calvin Zola, who scored for the 2nd successive game. Within moments, Greenacre made it 3-1 with a deft touch onto Steve Davis's cross. Tranny set fair for their first home win since late August, and a move out of the bottom 4. Greenacre's 12th of the season marked his first hat-trick for 4 years to complete a magnificent second-half comeback for Tranmere. And with several Yeovil players being linked with a move to rejoin old boss Gary Johnson at Bristol City, it could be a long second half to the season.
In 4 days lifted the pressure on Brian Little. Some poor defending from Vale allowed Sam Aston to tee up Danny Harrison for his 2nd goal of the season. And Vale slumped to their 5th defeat in 6 outings when Tranmere added a 2nd. Chris Greenacre's header made it a miserable Christmas in this part of the Potteries.
Tranmere gave a debut to goalkeeper Dino Saramet, who's joined on loan from Luton. But he was beaten after 14 minutes, with Sean Barker credited with putting Rotherham ahead. Barker's involvement in this game was short-lived, however. He was sent off inside 30 minutes by referee Andy Hall. A 2nd yellow card for Barker for barging into Chris Greenacre. It's the 2nd time that Barker has been sent off this season, and it did seem harsh. Tranmere, who'd won their previous 2 games, made the most of Barker's early exit, drawing level just before half-time, with Greenacre collecting his 5th goal over the holiday period. Another striker among the goals made it 2-1. Calvin Zola claiming his 3rd in 4 games. Tranmere should have put the game beyond Rotherham's reach when Danny Harrison was ideally placed to follow Greenacre's ambitious effort. But Rotherham didn't give up and even managed to reduce the deficit through 18-year-old Will Hoskins. Tranmere were getting edgy, and they were also to end the game with 10 men. Steve Davis dismissed for a 2nd yellow card for attempting to sabotage Rotherham's attempts to take a free kick quickly. Davis now faces a 1-game suspension, but at least Tranmere are in a better position than Rotherham, who will have 4 missing suspended when they take on Port Vale in a rearranged game on January the 10th.